Hi everyone, this is Susie from Minnesota Zone 4, and this is my weekly garden tour number 12. It's about the middle of July. Right now it's about 9 o'clock in the morning and it's already 90 degrees, high humidity. I just got done taking my dog for a walk. Only one, he can take the heat, the other one cannot. So I'm going to get this film done, do some watering, and then I think I'm just going to chill for the rest of the day. But look how things are looking with the heat. Even the grasses are starting to get a little bit taller. They're talking storms tonight, possibly. And then tomorrow in the 70s, so we'll get a nice little break. There is a breeze today. I am sorry about the sound quality, but not the breeze. I'm definitely going to need it. The mosquitoes have been really horrible lately, so I have not trimmed up a lot of my Hosta flowers. It might be a year where I don't do that just because I can't get into my garden right now. The bugs just eat me alive. Even with my bug suit on, but the heat doesn't help. I do have some slug damage. I have been laying down bait, but it's just kind of also that time of year. They seem to bother certain hostas more than others. Like this one has a little damage down here. We have gotten a lot of rain, but I would say in the last week, not a whole lot. So we could use a little bit of rain right now. There's an Astilbe back there. I love the foliage on that. That is just such a nice purple kind of chocolate color. I'm not a huge fan of the blooms, but that's okay. Mainly when I garden shade, I do it for the foliage. But there's nothing really wow about those. But it still offers a little interest. Hardy geranium, it's not my favorite. I was expecting it to be a little more compact in its growth, and it's not. So I might give it a trim and see what happens. That breeze feels wonderful. It's funny because my town did spray for mosquitoes probably about 3 days ago. I don't think they did a really good job. Usually I can hear them for a bit. It's a pretty loud machine. But I didn't hear them that much this time, so I'm wondering if they missed my street. You can see there's some yellowing with my bleeding heart. That's taken a long time. Usually that comes on closer to the beginning of July. Still looks good. Usually I've had to put a pot in here to kind of cover up this bare spot. This Brennera is looking really good. I like that compact growth, those big leaves. These hostas at some point will be getting moved because Summon Substance is just kind of taking over. I'm thinking they'll probably be moved into this area over here. I'll wait a little bit yet with doing that, probably closer to about the middle of August. You can see this one here has a little more slug damage. Oh, I just noticed this. I had a long work week, so looks like we'll be viewing this together, but this fell over. I'm wondering if that kind of broke off at the base. I will have to look into that a little bit later. I'm getting flowers on my Summon Substance here. They're huge, just massive. Kind of quick show you over here. Things are looking really good still. These Caladiums are filling in really nicely. I like how they're all a little bit different in color. Some a little more pink, some a little more darker green, light green. That's a flower. I'll be trimming them off when I can. I kind of trim a little bit, the bugs chase me. I trim a little bit, the heat chases me in, so it's just I do what I can a little bit at a time. Going Bananas Daylily is still blooming really nicely, but all of the blooms are facing that way. Well, I guess my dogs and I can enjoy them when we're inside of the kennel, huh? I really like these Caladiums. I don't have luck overwintering them. I will try again. My issue is my garage is too cold and my basement is too warm. So, but I always try. You can see I have some Caladiums coming up in here. I think these are called Tapestry, the ones that are coming up. Well, there's a better one on the other side, but I do have a different kind in there. I was a little worried that all I got was Tapestry, but I think the other ones are just a little bit later, because I did every other one. So there's two kinds in this garden. This hosta right here, I'll be digging up my comfrey, and then that will be going there. Right here. Isn't that beautiful? What's nice about the Caladiums is it doesn't take long for them to put on a show. I planted them about the middle of June, which is good for my climate. And they look like this within a month. If I would have had a lot warmer temps, it would have been sooner. So they are fast growers. Here's the other one. This is gorgeous. I forget what that one's called. I don't know if it's Red Splash, but don't quote me on that. I'll have to look and see. I love that one also. So when I saw that one come up, I'm like, okay, I do have two varieties in here. And then Sheldon here, finally they're coming up. I'm really pleased with that. I was a little nervous that it wasn't going to come up. You can see I have all kinds of flower heads on here. The flowers do attract bees and hummingbirds, but the only thing is I have so many hostas that all I see are flowers at some point, and I don't see the hostas. So I am kind of torn between trimming them and not trimming them. And here you can see I have some of the Caladiums that I planted coming up in there. We're going to head this way. My pine tree just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I also don't like to go through there because I have a bird nesting and I tend to make them angry. I'm thinking with this breeze I might be able to get some weeding done today. The nice thing about that container right there, I haven't had to water it a whole lot and it prefers that. So that's been nice. It can be a little tricky getting back there and watering it. Oh, I have some honeysuckle up there. I'll get back there in just a little bit. I like how the golden Japanese spikenard is poking up through there. That looks really good. Nice pop of color. Philipendula, Queen of the Prairie, is blooming, and I will get back there. It does have a nice light little scent to it. This little guy's doing pretty good down here. It's Humidity Stackies. I was thinking about moving it. When it's warm like this, I'm not going to do that to the plants. I don't want to shock them too much, but my lungwort looks really good. Starting to fill in very nicely. This is a pretty Astilbe. It's a little small this year. Usually it gets a bit bigger. And I think that's just because there was a Hosta there that was crowding it. I'm thinking next year it'll do a bit better. It still looks good though. I can't complain. That's a pretty flower on that one. My Primrose is all done blooming. One second, that was weird. I felt like I stepped on something. Thought maybe it was a rock, but I've had a lot of frogs lately. That's been really neat. This is gorgeous. I love that yellow daylily in there with the color of this salvia. Isn't that beautiful? I don't know the name of this daylily. This is another one I got from a friend. There is a scent to it. It is really nice. I do like that yellow. It's just like a nice sunny yellow. Just going to swing you over here. Let's see, here's a good example of, one is very pink, and then right next door, it's got more green in it. That is so neat. This is an anemone, and it has a flower head on it. So I can't wait to see what that looks like. I don't think it should be blooming at this point, but this is a plant I purchased in the nursery this year, so they always seem to bloom a little bit earlier. I thought that this was a later bloomer. I'm really happy that my begonias are hanging in there. I have not had to water this area once. I know they like it drier, so that is a plus side. Alright, let's go back over here. This shrub is done. I'm just wondering if I should leave the flower heads or if I should trim them up. Look at my Clematis. Isn't that gorgeous? On the left side, that's called pink mink. But on the right, I'm not sure what that's called. That is just loaded. I have had lots of hummingbirds lately. They're everywhere. They love the salvia. They love the bee balm. I'm just kind of getting a mosquito off me there. The Mexican sunflower, Tithonia, they absolutely love that too. Then of course the Nicotiana. And this one looks a little tough. I've been watering it, just trying. They're a little tricky. They droop a lot, and this is a Ligularia. It has a flower head on it. I'm just hoping it comes back next year. Then you can see down in there, that's gotten bigger. I am pretty sure that's the tiger eye sumac. Oh, let's see if I can get this. And the monarchs are finally here. They are so pretty. Oh, looks like this daylily is going to be blooming here soon. That's got a lot of flower heads. Very happy with that one. This one looks good. This one isn't too bad in here. Not seeing a whole lot on that one. If I don't see much, I might move them or figure out something else. I'd like to plant some more bee balm in here just to give it a little different texture since I have so much grass here and in here. But I will see. And then down here, I did not plant this caladium here. I am sure what happened is one of the squirrels got a hold of one and decided to help me plant. And I'm just leaving it. I figure if it's growing there amongst the rocks and everything, I just have to be careful so I don't step on it. The mess back here is chives and grass and violets. I think I'm going to dig that up. That's kind of an eyesore. I'm seeing more grass than anything. We'll go to the back of the garden here. Just going to give you a quick look to show you how my beans are doing. My climbing bush beans. That is a lot. I am very happy with this. And then there's a clump down here. So I will be having green beans tonight. Or purple green beans. Harvesting them is going to be fun because for some reason the mosquitoes are really bad in here. And then, I'll just quick look, my marigolds are kind of taken over. I mean, everything else is doing pretty good too. And it's funny because I looked for a lot of bush varieties and melons. They don't seem very bush to me. They're kind of climbing all over the place. I think walking through here at some point is going to get tricky. And then just to show, oh, I do have flowers on. Okay. I have to figure something out because that's still just climbing all over. Let's give you a show on here quick. This is my morning glory. That is just vining all over. Not a whole lot of flowers on it, so it's probably getting a little shaded out by the Baptisia, but I still like the foliage on that. You can see it's trailing on my compost bins. Oh, don't mind the mess back here. I have to get to the compost site. But you can see down in here too. I did trim back my Joe Pye weed. I hope I get a later blossom on it. But it does tend to flop if I don't do it, so we'll see what happens. Maybe I trimmed it too late. I'm just thrilled with how this Clematis is doing. I was very concerned in the beginning. This is the best it's ever looked. Oh, and I have one back here too. Let's see. Oh, that one's different. That's really neat looking. I wish I had a better bloom, but that's also loaded with flowers. Have to be careful. I hit my head on the the garden art. Asclepias. This is looking really nice. And it smells good too. Really good. Oh, I did not see this though. I'm going to have to fix that later. My Clematis is vining into that. These are the flowers that I don't like. How they just get really tall, lanky. They start kind of flopping over. bee balm is still going strong back here. It's kind of cool how I have like a red, kind of whitish blue theme going on here. This is a really blue hosta. I don't know the name of this one. That was also from a friend. I'm thinking I may have to move some of these hostas back here to give this fleece flower a little more room to grow. You can see this one over here is getting a little crowded out, and that's gorgeous. That is a really nice big hosta. Trying to block the wind a little bit, but I don't know if it's going to help. And then this one in here. Look at all the berries on my pagoda dogwood. The birds are going to love this. Filipendula. It is absolutely gorgeous. Yep, and there is a nice pretty scent. Sorry, I was busy smelling it. Probably should have stayed in focus. It probably would do a bit better in more sun, but it still does pretty good. It just does like wet conditions, and it's a spreader. Just trying to see. This year I've had a lot of bug damage as far as like aphids and caterpillars. And I think it's because I have not seen any earwigs, and they tend to eat them. But then earwigs are destructive too, so I don't know which would be better. Earwigs are kind of gross though. Honeysuckle is putting on another little bit of a bloom. So it must just kind of flower throughout summer. I still can't believe how good this tree has done this year. I'm very happy. I'll aim up a little higher since that's kind of a little catch-all right now. The zinnias, I've been deadheading. I know there's some in there that I have to deadhead. I work nights, so I have a hard time 12-hour shifts, at least 12 hours. Sometimes it's longer, but just getting in here and trying to find the time. Mainly in the mornings, I do a quick watering, then I'm off to work, so. These zinnias look okay, but I know there's a lot of brown spots in here. I'm not okay with that, so, I mean, it's really ugly down in there. The cosmos is kind of hiding that, but I have a lot of deadheading to do on this cosmos. That's one that I just need. Whoops, there's a mosquito right on. Go away. I mean, a lot of deadheading. I like to just sit and deadhead. This breeze will help out with that a lot. Just want to give you a look. This is probably one of my favorite views. This coneflower got huge. Not one of my favorites yet. I don't know. We'll see. This rose has been blooming non-stop all summer and putting a lot of growth. I hope I can get that to overwinter really good. The rabbits like to chew on that. This morning glory has finally perked up. It's taken a little bit. The other day there must have been 8-10 blossoms just blooming like crazy. And this daylily has lots of flower heads. This one's called Nosferatu. I like this coneflower. I like the different colors. It starts off like that and then it ages to this color. It's really neat. This Oriental Lily looks like it's about ready to bloom anytime. I can't wait. The catmint has been blooming on and off. I really like that. That's a new planting this year. All these roses in this area are also easy roses. They're really neat. White Wands Veronica is starting to go over. I still leave it because the bees and butterflies love it. Russian sage. It's getting a little floppy back there. I think next year I'm going to put cages around them just to help support them. Because when a strong wind comes, it just kind of blows them over. And there's some yellowing down there. That's just due to the rain that we've had. In the middle is a black-eyed Susan. I was expecting that to get a little bit taller, around 3 feet, so it's got some time yet. Vincas are still holding on. They're filling out a little bit. I think closer to the end of the season they'll look a little bit better. It's a nice little pop of white in there. Sedum looks pretty good. I know it is spreading in the middle, but I'm not overly concerned. I don't know how I feel about these daylilies here. I haven't seen a whole lot of flower heads on them. I do like the foliage, but that one's starting to revert. So if they don't flower a lot and they revert back to green, I'm not going to keep them, especially if they're not flowering. This white coneflower is gorgeous. My turn, butterfly. Here, there we go. I was hoping I could have caught a hummingbird today for you. Oh, it got chased away. Okay, I'm not sure why my camera can't focus. Let's try this again. Go and... Oh. Oh, there was a mosquito right on the palm of my hand. 1 second. I'm so sorry. That big thing in there is dahlia that overwintered for me in my garage. I was surprised. Hasn't flowered yet. It's getting really big. I'm very surprised at how big it's getting. I'm gonna back up. This too is one of my favorite views, and what's really nice is this is where I sit, so this is what I get a look at. bee balm still looks pretty good. It is starting to go over, but it's still attracting lots of bees. There were some really big ones last night when I was sitting back here. Gloriosa Daisy. That is just loaded with blooms. My phlox is starting to form some flower heads. Can't wait. That has a nice scent also. This also is a really neat coneflower. I love how big the heads get. Oh, alright. I will let you do what you want to do, little bee. Oh, I was going to show you too. I had done some rearranging, but you can see how the Russian sage is leaning a little bit. So, I moved the stand here just so it gets more sun. This is the one that has a lantana in it. It's put on, that's all new growth in there. I trimmed it up, so we'll see how that does. It's not doing what I wanted it to do. And then over here, I had moved the one container, that stand container that was between the giant fleece flower and the pagoda dogwood tree. And I switched plants because this is full sun and this is a chenille plant. So we'll see how that does. That looks like it's doing pretty good in there. And then the plant that I had in there was a begonia, and I put it over here because this gets a little more shade. And I think it's liking it a lot more in here. And then I moved my frog. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. There was a bee that landed right on my finger. I got a little nervous there. Whew. And then this is one of my niece's free plants that I just potted in him. I think it's a polka dot plant. Go back this way. The spiky stuff that I have in here are Gladiolas. I am worried that the Russian sage is going to knock it down. I mean, they tend to flop anyway. But that's okay, I'll just cut them. And the Russian sage is blooming just a little bit. It's just starting to, if you can see that. This is a corkscrew vine. It's really happy here. It's just no blooms yet. It may not flower for me this year. I know they say it's a later bloomer, but more glads. This is a zucchini. And I do have a lot of zucchini on in there. It's just if you see at the bottom, that's getting nasty looking. Like really, really nasty looking. I'm pretty sure that's the vine borer. So I'm hoping I get a few zucchini, and I'm not surprised. I have issues with that a lot. And here, this is a self-seeded Nicotiana from last year. I'm just going to leave it. It's doing really good. This squash here too, this is a patty pan, and if you look, I don't know, I was thinking about just mounding some soil over that and seeing if it helps. Let me know what you would do with that. I just feel like it's going to die before I can even get a harvest in. I do love the grasses. They might be a little bit big, but everything will get bigger at some point. And then over here, there's been a lot of flopping with the Nicotiana, so I've staked it up a little bit, also with the calendula, just kind of letting it do what it wants to do. Right now, the bees that are in this garden and the butterflies and hummingbirds, it's been one of my favorites this year. It's been a very active, busy garden. And the scent at night is so wonderful. I do like the lime green at night. That just is very vibrant. The Tithonia is doing what I wanted it to do. I'm walking backwards. I have to be careful. Whoops, yep. I felt the fish right behind my feet here. Wanda. Been doing a lot of deadheading in this garden too. I do like the Nicotiana. Other people might not like it just because it's very spiky, and I think it's neat. I like the orange and green together. I'm hoping you can see this on camera because right now I'm just kind of getting a glare. I have more glads back here. And this black-eyed Susan vine just really loves it back here, doesn't it? I keep trimming up this rose down here. Has a beautiful scent to it. These marigolds are flopping over a little bit. They're just getting so loaded down with blossoms, and I'm just letting them do what they want to do. Oh. And at this moment, I'm trimming up all of my morning glories. I'm not letting any of them go to seed right now. I want them to focus on flowering and growth, not putting out seed. Last year I had the Mina labata, Spanish flag, and it went to seed really quick, and I didn't have any flowers later in the season, so I'm hoping I can kind of prevent that this year with the morning glories. Going to show you this. Well, this is in beautiful bloom here, the Portulaca. Isn't that gorgeous? But I know that likes the heat too, so lots of flower heads on my hydrangea. This one looks really great, just starting. And if you can see, even in the back, it's loaded with blossoms. And these are just starting. I can't wait till they're all blooming. They put on quite a show. I only worry whenever we start getting the rain, they'll get really floppy. And I do like this view also, just kind of walking through, especially when you walk around the corner and you see the flowers. Strawberries are doing okay. They're just putting out a bunch of runners. I keep pinching them off. I've got more than enough in here. I'm hoping I get another crop of strawberries a little bit later in the season. So I hope you enjoyed this tour, and bye for now.